Good morning, friends. It's Joe. Welcome to Daniel's Dream, where we always work on ways to strengthen our spiritual foundation while we also help all those animals in need so that we can offer more love and compassion to the world. Today is Wednesday, July the 15th, and I wanted to tell you what seems to be a sad story about a very dear friend of mine named Casper. When I was very young, as an aside, I was very intrigued with Casper the Friendly Ghost as a cartoon character. Well, in later years, I met Casper the Goat at the All Friends Animal Sanctuary in Las Vegas. And Casper was a very special goat because he was to be sold on Craigslist for goat meat. So they had no idea what his youth was like, and it may have contributed to him having later in life some very difficult problems with his back legs to the point where he couldn't use them anymore. But Casper was very smart, and he knew to back himself up onto a fence where his back legs, although not useful to him, gave him enough support so he could stand on his front legs, greet people, which he did to me many times, and also be able to eat and drink and do all those things and get along with all species that lived with him. Well, unfortunately, while I was away last month, Casper passed away. I found out actually when I was away for a few days visiting some animal sanctuaries in upstate New York. When I heard the news, I was very sad to have lost Casper because I felt very close to him. I looked forward to seeing him every time I went out there, and I said now I won't see him ever again. I sat out on the deck of our hotel room, and I sat there for quite some time, and some interesting thoughts came to me. I was very sad to lose him because I was connected to him, and we all know from my previous videos especially how connections can become very strong, and when they're lost, it can be very difficult. But then I started to think, well, there's millions of animals that I care about every day that are slaughtered in slaughterhouses and mistreated. And I don't think about them as much, but of course it was easy to say that this connection to Casper contributed to that. But as I continued to think through, emotions come through, right? Emotions like trying to accept this, trying to say, well, okay, yes, I accept not only this, I have to try, but I accept all those that I am not as close to, I don't know their names. And then it brings it to that emotion of perspective and realizing that we can only do what we can do. So a lot of emotions were running through my mind. And then I finally realized as I dwelled on Casper himself, as well as other animals that I have been very close to, that their top emotions are always love and gratitude. Love and gratitude for animals trump all other emotions, regardless of what happens. For us, we waver, and it's understandable. It's our human nature. But it was a lesson to me, and I hope a lesson to you, that we will have losses. We will then need to accept as best as possible those losses. We need to put it in perspective in terms of this life and how sometimes it can get complicated. But then we need to do as our animal friends do. Always come back to love and always come back to gratitude. I loved Casper, and I think he loved me. He looked forward to seeing me, and I saw him, thankfully, in March, not long before he passed away. And gratitude to God for bringing all of our special connections to us. Regardless of how long they are, what happens, we need to be thankful for those connections and relationships in our life. So my friends, I ask you to pray for Casper and all those who loved him. But I also ask you to dig down deep into your heart and soul. And as your days go on, make sure you always gravitate to those two very special and important emotions, love and gratitude. My friends, that's my message for you. I hope it was helpful. I hope you could take it into your day. I always welcome your comments, your thoughts, or your questions, and I always appreciate you being here with me. I want to wish you and your loved ones a very blessed day, and I look forward to seeing you back here on Sunday with a scripture reflection. Until then, take good care.